Hello everybody, and in this video I'm going to share with you how my first competition of the season went. That was the WNBF Ontario in Belleville, which happened just last Saturday. Today's Thursday as I'm filming this, so it was about 5 days ago. So I'm going to share with you how the experience went, how I felt through the whole process, and what's in store for me next. So yeah, I mean, first things first, I want to say that it was a great experience. I had a wonderful time. It's actually, I would say, the best natural bodybuilding experience that I've had thus far as being on stage and competing goes. Like the event was wonderful. There's several reasons for that. So the first one being, I'm really happy with how I showed up. So I've been prepping since January. This is the 37th week of prep now. Up to that point, I had prepped for 36 weeks. So I went into it feeling really prepared. Like I did everything I could up to that point to a degree that was reasonable and healthy. And so I went into it feeling very, very confident about how I was looking and just knowing that I did everything that I could to show up at my best. And the result of that, I believe, was the best I've ever looked on stage, which is really cool. So one of the things that Jeff and I talked about right at the beginning of the competition prep is like the goal being we wanted to get as close to my current potential as possible. And I think we definitely did that. 36 weeks through the prep, like we did the absolute best that we could. And I went into it feeling confident about that. So there was no lack of preparedness, that's for sure. So that was fantastic. Um, the other parts that I really enjoyed being the people that I met there. So this is one of the best experiences I've had as far as like athlete camaraderie goes. So I've done several competitions before. This is my fourth prep, and this was I met a lot of people a lot of other competitors that I really kind of bonded with quite well. We all are kind of, I guess, crazy in our own ways, having um, just been drawn to natural bodybuilding. It's a very, I suppose, kind of a niche sport or a niche art, however you want to look at it. And we all have that shared interest and this desire to do something like a crazy prep where we diet for weeks and months on end, experiencing no shortage of all the feelings that come with a prep, discomfort. I guess that's the main way to describe it, is discomfort. But I think we all find a good amount of joy and fulfillment from it, in kind of similar ways, and for that reason, it's easy to bond with the other athletes that, at least for me, that I met there. So I met a lot of cool people, and that was one of the key takeaways for me. And they're all killer athletes too. Like this was the highest caliber event that I've ever competed at too. Like these guys looked incredible. So I felt really honored to be on stage with them, and just having met them and made those connections. I'm not a terribly social person by any means, like not even a little bit, but it was just nice for me to like even be around those people and have some cool conversations and being able to connect. So that was one of the key takeaways for me as well too. Another key takeaway that I really enjoyed was just the competing itself. So like I was on stage. It felt like a long time. It must have been like 15, 20 minutes. It was the longest I've ever been on stage. For those of you that are familiar with how the process works, like we did the symmetry round, like those first set of poses they probably got us doing it like 8 or 9 rounds, just moving us around on stage. And then they had us go through the muscularity round. This is all part of the comparisons, another like 6 or 7 times, maybe more. I'm not sure. It's all kind of a blur now, but it was a real battle, and you could tell that like the judges were really trying to pick hard, like who's gonna place where, really comparing everyone. And yeah, it was fun. It was really, really fun. It was like definitely an adrenaline rush. I've been in competitions before where I'm literally on stage for like 3 to 5 minutes, and it's just like, yeah, and then it's all over. But in this case, it was like we were up there for a good amount of time, and it felt like a battle. And also too, the guys that I was up against, like they were formidable. So you know, it wasn't like some easy thing. It was like a real challenge. The way that I placed, so I came second in the heavyweights. I weighed in the day before, the evening before, at 176 pounds on the dot. My lowest weight on the prep thus far was 172.2, but after carving up a little bit, I bumped up to 176, and they stuck me with the heavyweights. And I'm happy I got to go up there with the bigger guys. I'm happy with how it turned out, and that I got to stand up there with those guys. They looked amazing. And yeah, no, I'm happy with how I placed and how I stood against these other guys that were incredibly muscular, and many of them like with great symmetry and conditioning as well. So I'm glad I got the chance to stand up there with them. So anyways, yeah, it was fantastic. I think the other thing I'm really happy about too is that, I mean, it was the first competition, so I got kind of like those initial we'll say not really nerves, maybe nerves, but like this little bit of worry as far as like just going through the competition, going through the process. Like now that the first one's out of the gate, like I feel a lot more confident about the next ones. Biggest part being, I think, was travel. So I had some big travel days to get there. The competition was like all the way on the other side of Canada for where I live. So I had some big days of flying over to the competition and then getting a rental car and then driving in the middle of the night to the venue or to the hotel. That was really challenging, and I guess I was just stressed about like packing my meals and making sure I didn't forget anything, and just knowing that I had some big travel days ahead around the competitions. But everything went so smoothly. I got all my meals through okay, and all the travel was fine. Like I didn't miss any flights or anything. I managed to get to the hotel safely after, you know, driving in the middle of the night to get there with the rental car, through Toronto, through the crazy driving of Toronto there. There's a lot of late night construction, so that added about an hour to my drive there, which wasn't ideal, but we still got there safe. We still made it, and it worked out just fine. And then travel on the way back was pretty tough too, but we made it, and we're back now, and here we are. But anyways, as far as the competition goes, like if I was to summarize like a recap, it was fantastic. I loved it. It keeps playing over and over in the back of my head. I really enjoyed it, and I'm just pumped that I get to do it 3 more times this season. I met some really cool people, which is awesome too, because I think in this, like with this whole natural bodybuilding thing, it's like it's a pretty tight community. So a lot of these guys, I'm sure I'm going to be competing against again, or I'm going to compete with again. I'm going to, you know, be talking to them probably for maybe for the rest of my life. A lot of these guys, because it's such a niche thing. It's such a tight knit community. And that's really exciting to me, and that is one of the key takeaways that I have. Aside from showing up at my best, I got some really cool photos from the competition. And yeah, big thank you to Jeff too. So Jeff Alberts is my coach. I would not have got this far without him. Like, my goodness. He's the one that likes to use an analogy, like, you know, he's like we're out at sea in stormy waters during this prep, and he is in a big way, like he is the navigator, he's the guide for me, who's like out there sailing in no man's land in the middle of the ocean in stormy waters. Like, I wouldn't be able to navigate that without him. So huge thank you to him. And I mean, we're still like, this is the start of the competition season. We're going right till the middle of November. We got 3 to go. So I'm really grateful that he's going to be there along with me throughout this entire time. So very exciting about that. So what's next? Next is we're about 3 weeks out from the next competition. So the next competition is in California. It's the Battle of the Bay. After that, we're going to do WNBF Calgary, and then after that, the plan is we're going to go and do WNBF Worlds. So we got some really cool competitions ahead. The next one, again, is in 3 weeks. So ever since I've got back from this first competition, the goal and what we're doing is we are continuing to dig. So although I did everything I could for that first competition, I got absolutely as far as I possibly could with those 36 weeks. there is still room to improve my conditioning. Like I can still lose some more fat to sharpen up. Don't get me wrong, I'm so happy with how it looked, but hey, we've got room to improve. So we are going to keep digging. So since Monday, since we've been back, it's Thursday now, we are digging again. So we're back in deficit calories. I'm running 6 low days, 1 high day. The 6 low days are about 2,050 calories, a little bit less than that. High day is about 2,050 calories, a little bit lower than, or 2,950 calories, a little bit lower than that. So we're back at that, which is how I was digging before we did that first competition. So we're back into those calories. The biggest difference is, and we are pushing harder, and the way we're pushing harder is we are increasing my activity level. So we are increasing my step count by quite a bit, with the intention of basically trying to take my physique to the next level as far as conditioning goes. So I'm pretty close to like that really, really crazy place. So we're going to see if we can get even closer to that for the next competition, the one after that, and the one after that. So we're going to keep pushing throughout, the remainder of the prep, and see exactly what I can accomplish. I mean, we're already 37 weeks into this now, just about, so might as well take it as far as we possibly can and perform. I want to perform. I want to see what I'm capable of. So I'm really excited about it. It's already Thursday, so I've been digging pretty hard for these past 4 days already. I can feel it. I'm not going to lie, but my motivation is so high. I'm so excited about it. It's like just doing that first competition, like it really sparked something extra in me. Like I was excited going into it, but now I'm even more excited. So it sparked something like even extra in me. So even though I'm back in the deficit calories and it's something, that's for sure. And we are pushing harder. We're increasing the activity level, which means I'm either working or walking, pretty much 24/7 now, with a little bit of town time right before I go to bed and when I'm eating my 3 square meals per day. But I'm enjoying it so much. Like honestly, I just love the feeling of working towards something and continuing to get closer to this potential that I've never reached before. And my goodness, it's a huge thrill for me. So I am only looking forward to what is yet to come. First, the next competition, second one is in just about 3 weeks. So it's not that far away. But at the same time, I'm glad we do have that extra. So it's like 4 weeks between the first competition and the second. I'm glad we have that because it is giving me an opportunity to sharpen up more, to dig deeper. And then we'll see how I do there. And maybe if there's more of an opportunity, I'll still have to continue improving, then I'll still have another 3 weeks. And, Jeff's the one that's guiding the way, and we'll follow what his suggestions are to keep taking things to the next level. That might mean we dig even deeper, see if we can improve conditioning even more. So we've got a bit of time. We've got 3 weeks and then another 3 weeks after that. So yeah, we're going to see how far we can take this. So happy with how I looked, how I performed, how I showed up, how prepared I was, but we're going to keep going. Like we're going to see how far we can take this. So I'm very excited. This whole process is very fulfilling, very meaningful for me. I had such a wonderful time. I'm so happy with how it all went and the people I met. And it really was like, I don't mean to be like over the top and just like, over the top positive, but it really was my favorite natural bodybuilding experience so far. So big thank you to the WNBF Ontario crew for putting on that competition. It's the first one they ever did, by the way, and it was crazy. There were so many competitors that showed up. It was so high caliber, and yeah, so it was wonderful. But anyways, that's my recap. That's the review. That's how it all went. 3 weeks to go to the next one. We'll have a couple more vlogs for you between now and then we're gonna go see how we do. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you like the video, please go ahead, like it. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. Otherwise, thank you again so much for following me and supporting me on the journey. It's very appreciated. But on that note, I will see you in the next video. See you guys.